by providing higher pay and bonuses to these hard-working preschool teachers, being able to buy important playground equipment and materials and doing upgrades for safety and public health. They were absolutely necessary. We were able to do close to $1 billion from the American Rescue Plan that the Biden administration recommended. And we've been doing that over the last few years, but that federal money is about to run out. And that's why I've asked the North Carolina legislature to continue this investment. The House budget that this just came out falls far short of what we need. So I hope that our businesses across the state, our parents across the state, will speak loudly about the need for this investment. And I challenge them to come to places like Lollipops to see what's happening. I am so deeply grateful for these educators who step forward and to help our children. And it's going to be critical that we continue to make these investments across our state. We need to invest in education from cradle to career. It's why we've been named the best state in the country for business, because we have the best workforce in the country. We have the greatest array of public and private universities in the country. We have the best community college system in the country. And what we need to do is to make sure we invest in early childhood and in K through 12 education to make sure that we have the workers for the jobs of today and tomorrow. So thank you all for coming. Thank you to these local governmental officials for their hard work. And I'll be glad to take questions from the media now. Thank you, Sheriff. Indeed, we're grateful. We're grateful for that. Well, right now, our child care system can support less than 30% of the families out there. And if you ask Lollipops, they'll tell you they have a waiting list. We need to invest more in this important resource for North Carolina families. I mean, every child ought to have the opportunity for early childhood education. And we know so many families out there need to work. The parents need to work to support the families so that they can get out into the workforce, which is short of labor right now. So this is a smart investment for us to be making.
Got time for two more. Mr. Governor, this actually pertains to the previous event you were at. I just didn't get a chance to ask you.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, no, it's all good. You're a busy man. I get it. You mentioned previously, you were talking about gun violence at the previous event. How do you feel about the recent veto overturn from the General Assembly?
Most people in this state and in this country, people who support the Second Amendment, people who are strong gun owners, believe that we ought to have strong background checks and that we ought to have safeguards in order to keep the guns out of the hands of criminals, people who are dangerously mentally ill, and children. We should be taking proactive steps to do more to make sure people are protected. When gun violence has surpassed car accidents as the #1 cause of injury death for our children, we know that this is a big problem. Yet the General Assembly decides to go backward and to remove an important safeguard. That's wrong on all levels, and I hope that the people will let them know how they feel about it and that we can make some positive change, because it's unacceptable what's happening now.
I've got one more, Charlotte.
Hi, Governor Cooper with the Charlotte Observer. I was wondering, so your visit comes a day after we found out the state will take oversight action into cats. And I was wondering your thoughts on the previously disclosed light rail derailment and what you think what action the state should be taking.
Well, #1, light rail is so important for making sure we get people to and from work in a fast, efficient, and safe way. We know that CATS and other public transportation systems are struggling to find enough help. The Department of Transportation let them know that they needed to make sure that more workers were involved because it was a safety issue. And it is my understanding CATS is going to work with the Department of Transportation to make sure that enough people are hired so that we can make sure that they are safe. Let me get yours right here. Sorry.
I'm concerned about the legislation's ability to override future.
Sure. Yeah. You know, we know that it's important to have a good balance in state government, but unfortunately we have severely gerrymandered districts that causes significant problems. But I'll tell you this, we've had a lot of bipartisan successes. We've been able to pass one of the most far-reaching clean energy pieces of legislation in the country. We've agreed just last week to expand Medicaid to make sure that more than 600,000 people have health insurance. And in fact, early childhood educators are a part of the number of people who don't have health insurance and who may benefit most by this passing of Medicaid. But we're going to continue to work hard to try to find ways that we can move forward together, and I'll continue to fight for things I believe and use my veto when I need it. Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.